Hi guys, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, you're welcome. Today's video we're going to learn how to draw the basic bodice pattern. So I'll start by marking 1 inch down from my pattern paper, and then I'll roll out a straight line. This line will serve as my starting line and also my shoulder line. And I'll go in and mark my shoulder to bust, shoulder to waist, and my shoulder to hip, like so. When I'm done marking the points, I'll roll out a straight line. So from my waist to my hip is 9 inches because I'm a bit tall. If you're not as tall as I am, you can use 8 inches or 8.5. I'll mark it across so as to get a straight point. Then I'll roll out a straight line, horizontal lines. When I'm done, I'm going to go to my shoulder line and impute half of my shoulder measurement. So in this case, I'll be working with 7 inches. So I'll mark 7 inches on that line. I'll go down by 1 inch for the shoulder slope because our shoulders are not straight. And then I'll mark a neck width of 3.5 inches, a neck depth of 3.5 inches as well. Then I'll connect those points. I'll connect my shoulder slope to my neck width, and then neck width to the neck depth. Like so. So when I'm done connecting my neck depth to my neck width, I'll go down by 7.5 inches from the shoulder slope to mark my chest line, my armhole depth, otherwise called chest line. And then to get a straight line, I'm going to measure from the center front my shoulder width of 7 inches so as to get a straight line. Then I'll mark it and I'll connect it to the shoulder slope like so to form my armhole depth line. So on the chest line, I'm going to mark a quarter of my bust measurement. A quarter of my bust circumference is 9 inches. I'm going to impute it right there. And then I'll find the midpoint of this line here, and then I'll mark it. At that point, I'll go in by half of an inch. You can also use 0.75 inches, but in my case I use half of an inch. I'll connect these points together to form my armhole curve, like so. If you're coming across my video for the first time, kindly hit on the subscribe button, like this video, and thank you so much for stopping by. So when that is done, I'll go in on my waistline. I'll mark a quarter of my waist circumference. So I'm working with a waist of 31 inches. I'm going to divide it into 2 using my tape like so, and then I'll fold it again into 2 to have 7.75. So I'm going to impute that 7.75 on my waistline. I'm also going to mark my front hip. Note, my front hip is not the same as my back hip. So I'm working with a hip of 42 inches. 42 divided by 2 is 21. And then I'll shade that 21 to the front and to the back. Then coming to the front hip, I'll subtract 1 inch and add it to the back. So now I'll be left with 20 inches for the front and 22 inches for the back. So for the front, I'm going to mark 10 inches right here as half of my front hip measurement. So when that is done, I'm going to connect the point with a broken line, because this is not my this is not the final line I'm gonna draw here. So I'm going to mark it with a broken line. I'll connect it to the hip, and then from my waist down to my chest line, like so. So when that is done, I'll now impute half of my bust span measurement of 3.5 inches on the waistline, the hip line, and on the bust line, and then I'll connect it vertically like so. This is my dart leg line. So on the waistline, I'll go in by 0.75 inches on both sides to form my dart intake. So I'm using a dart intake of 1.5, and then from the bust line I'll come down by 1 inch, and then I'll go down from the waistline by 6 inches. That will be the length of my dart, and I'll connect the points like so. So because I'm dealing with a cinched waist basic bodice pattern, this pattern is going to snatch your waist. So instead of replacing 1.5 inches of the dart intake, I'm going to replace only 0.75. Then the other 0.75 would be taken out, so as to cinch the waist, to snatch the waistline. And at this point, I'm going to take my bust dart of 1.5 inches. So my front waistline is my front waist length is 16 inches for the front, then 14.5 inches for the back. So as to make the side seam of both front and back align, I had to take a 1.5 inches bust dart like so. And when I'm done, I'm going to connect the points, as you can see in the video. That's basically all for this front pattern. So moving to the back, we're going to extend the hip line and the waistline. Extend the hip line and the waistline to the back. You're going to place your 14.5 inches on the waistline and then mark upwards your back waist length. Your 14.5 inches should be on the waistline. Then you mark your back waist length upwards. Wherever that falls, you rule out your horizontal line, and that line will serve as your shoulder line. So on that line, I'm going to mark half of my shoulder measurement of 7 inches, neck width of 3.5, and then my shoulder slope, and also a neck depth of 1 inch. So here I'm going to connect the points together, neck width to neck depth, and then neck width to shoulder slope, like so. If you've watched to this point, kindly give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and also leave your comments in the comment section. So on the shoulder slope, I'm going to go down to mark 7.5 inches, which is my arm side depth line. And then I'll rule out the line. You realize the line falls on my front bust line. So mark your shoulder, half of your shoulder measurement, and connect a quarter of your bust circumference on the chest line, and then connect it like so to form your armhole depth. After that is done, you impute a quarter of your waist measurement, which is in this case is 7.75, and then remember your back hip was 22, so 22 divided by 2, you have 11 inches for the front. Sorry, for the back. Connect the point like so. If you do this on your gown, you will not have that bucous effect at the front of your gown because you've taken out excess fabric from the front hip. So go in by your nipple to nipple measurement divided by 2 to form your dart leg like so. Roll out the vertical line and then take in your dart. I'll still be using 0.75 for the back. So my dart the length of my dart is 6 inches upwards and 6 inches downwards. Connect your dart legs like so. When that is done, replace 0.75 at the side and connect it to your hip and to your post line, your chest line. Like so. So to eliminate zipper bulge at the center back, our spine are not straight, I'm going to go in on the waistline by 1/2 inch like so, and then I'll connect it upwards and downwards. This will help me eliminate zipper bulge. Also note that the length of my back bodice is also a way of eliminating zipper bulge. If you use 16 for the front and 16 for the back, for instance, you will definitely have zipper bulge. But most times, if you reduce your back length and also go in by 1/2 inch like this, you do not have to worry about zipper bulge at all. So the essence of taking in this 1/2 inch is to eliminate zipper bulge at the back area. So the shaded part, I'm going to cut it off. So I have a video on how to transform this bodice into a bustier pattern. If you want to see how I did that, subscribe to my channel because I'll be posting the video in a little while. So what I did here is to measure from my chest line to my waistline to see the length of my side seam. If it doesn't align, kindly make any necessary adjustments so that it will align. So when I measured mine, I had less than 1/4 inch excess at the back. So I'm going to take out 1/8 of an inch from the back and then withdraw my armhole. Kindly watch to see what I mean. Can you see the little excess that I had? Very little excess. If you have watched this point, thank you so much for stopping by. See you in my next video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. See you. Bye.